Hello children, good morning. See, in today's class, we are going to discuss our last chapter in political science, that is working of institutions. And in this chapter, we are going to learn about a government order and the decision makers. So let's go. In a democratic government, the elected representatives are rulers. They are the rulers because they were elected by the people. However, even the rulers need to follow certain rules and guidelines which are stated in the Constitution. It is necessary to divide the decision-making power of the government into three separate branches, that is, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. In short, the legislature makes the laws or enacts the laws, the executive implements them, and the judiciary resolves disputes that arise out of major policy decisions. The legislature consists of an assembly of the people's representatives with the power to enact laws for a country. It also has the authority to raise taxes and to adopt the budget and money bills. The executive is a group of persons with the authority to initiate major policies, make decisions and implement them on the basis of the constitutional laws. The judiciary is an institution that administers justice and resolves legal disputes. All the courts in the country are collectively called the judiciary. We will now see how a government order or GO is passed and executed and judged in the courts of law. Any major policy decision is conveyed through a GO or government order. A government order is also called an office memorandum. One such government order was passed on August 13, 1990. The government passes a lot of orders every day on a variety of matters. But the government order passed on August 13, 1990 was very important and became the major source of controversy. So let's take a look about the government order and what happened after it was passed. This order announced that 27% of vacancies in civil posts and services under the government of India. It would be means that 27% would be reserved for socially and educationally or economically also backward classes. In short, we can call it as SEBC. Okay, 27% of vacancies are reserved for SEBC people. It means socially, educationally backward classes or socially, economically backward classes in civil posts and services under the government of India. Earlier, job reservations were only for scheduled tribes and scheduled castes. With this order, the backward class people who are also eligible for the quota of 27% reservation. The Parliament is the National Assembly of elected representatives of the people. It exercises supreme political authority on behalf of the people. The Assembly of elected representatives of the people at the state level is called legislature or the Legislative Assembly. The Parliament exercises the political authority in several ways. The Parliament has the authority to enact the laws. It can add new laws and change or abolish existing laws also. The Parliament has direct and complete control over the government. All the major decisions are made only after the approval and support of the Parliament. The Parliament controls how the government spends public money. Okay, the money can be spent only if the Parliament approves of it. National policy and important public issues are discussed and debated in the Parliament. Parliament consists of the office of the President of India and the two houses. They are the Lok Sabha, it's also called lower house, and the Rajya Sabha, the upper house. The Rajya Sabha is also called the Council of States, and the Lok Sabha, or the House of People. Children, did you know that the President of India is a part of the Parliament, but he is not a member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? He does not belong to any of the houses. He is not a member of any of these houses. Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the Parliament, children. The Rajya Sabha consists of 250 members, of which 12 are nominated by the President of India for their expertise and specific fields of art, literature, science, and social services. These members are known as nominated members. The remainder of the Rajya Sabha is elected by the state territorial legislatures. The term of office is 6 years, and 1/3 of the members retire every 2 years from the Rajya Sabha. The Vice President is the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. It is not subjected to dissolution because when 1/3 of members retire, the same number are elected again. The Lok Sabha is directly elected by the people of India. The Lok Sabha can have a maximum of 552 members, including 20 members from Union territories and 2 from the Anglo-Indian community. The Speaker presides over the sessions. Though the Rajya Sabha has some special powers, the Lok Sabha has supreme powers. Before a law is passed, it is discussed in both the houses. If there is a difference, the final decision is made after a joint session of both the houses. Due to a large number of members, the view of the Lok Sabha matters a lot. In a money bill, it has the final authority. Once the Lok Sabha passes the budget or a law related to money, the Rajya Sabha cannot reject it. The Rajya Sabha can just delay it by 14 days or suggest some changes. The Lok Sabha controls the Council of Ministers. To become a Prime Minister, one needs the support of the majority of the members of Lok Sabha. If the majority of the members of the Lok Sabha have no in the Council of Ministers, then the entire ministers and the Prime Ministers have to resign. If there is no confidence on the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers, the entire Council of Ministers and the Prime Minister has to resign totally. In a democratic government, the functionaries need to execute the decisions made by the ruling party. The parliament of the senior ministers, they just execute the decisions but do not have powers on behalf of the people. A group of such functionaries is called the executive, as it executes the policies of the government. The executive has 2 categories. They are the political and permanent. The political executive consists of political leaders who are elected by the people for a specific term. The permanent executive includes members who are appointed on a large term basis. These members remain in office even when the party in power changes. The permanent executive is also called the civil services or civil servants. These civil servants, they work under the political executives and help in the administration. The political executive has more powers and the final say in all important decisions. The ministers make the final decision as they are the representatives of the people. This is what happens in a democratic form of government, children. The ministers consult experts and then make decisions. They alone cannot take decisions. They have to consult these experts. Who are those experts? Those civil servants only. Okay? And based on the overall objective of the government, they have to take decisions on overall objective of the government. The political executive includes the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. The President appoints the leader of the majority or the coalition party that has a majority in the Lok Sabha has a Prime Minister. The Prime Minister remains in office as long as he or she remains the leader of the majority party or the coalition. In other words, the Prime Minister remains in office as long as he or she enjoys the confidence of the Lok Sabha. The remaining ministers are appointed by the President based on the advice of the Prime Minister. These ministers are usually formed from the party of the coalition or the ruling party that has a majority in the Lok Sabha. Children, did you know a person who is not a member of parliament can also become a minister? However, such a member has to be re-elected to one of the houses of the parliament within 6 months of appointment. The group of ministers is called Council of Ministers. It includes about 70 members of different ranks. This Council of Ministers includes 70 members of different ranks. The Council of Ministers include the Cabinet Ministers, State Ministers, Ministers of State with independent charge, and Ministers of State. A Union Cabinet Minister is a senior minister from the ruling party. He is in charge of the ministry. A Cabinet Minister may also hold additional charges of other ministries, where no other Cabinet Minister is appointed. At times, for the Cabinet post, no other minister will be appointed. That time, this minister can be taken additional charges of that ministry also. The Cabinet is the internal ring of the Council of Ministers. It consists of around 20 members. The Ministers of State with independent charge do not have a Union Cabinet Minister overseeing that portfolio. They are in charge of smaller ministries and participate in the Cabinet meetings when invited. A Minister of State is junior minister with an overseeing Cabinet Minister usually having specific responsibility in that ministry. For instance, a Minister of State in the Finance Ministry may only handle taxation. A Minister of State is attached to the Cabinet Minister concerned and has only administrative powers. He does not have his own powers. Okay? So that's all for today, children. Thank you.